I'm like,
Me
oh,
too.
I gotta get.
Perfect. Your man up.
Yeah.
Banging back of hand.
Bunch of hand talkers over there.
That's right. And huggers, I hear.
Well, he's the hugger.
Oh, you're not a hugger?
I'm like the
You're
bro
like
hug.
He's like
a
a bro hugger.
hug. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got the full hug.
We were analyzing hugs.
There's a 22-second hug too, which I'll have to explain to you after.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We're the CRM players. We're back in Vegas again, aren't we?
You know, no, actually, we're not back in Vegas. We literally have never left Vegas, and the rest of it's been fantasy. Like, we think we're home, we think we're eating dinner. I think we've probably been at this hotel. Well, no, actually, we haven't, have we?
I don't know. I've been here a lot.
I've been at the other side.
Okay.
I mean, not like the afterlife. I'm talking about the Venetian. The Venetian.
Afterlife,
Right.
Venetian.
Same thing. 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
But it's not the same thing because we are at ServiceNow's conference, Knowledge 19.
Yes.
Which is really cool. And what's really cool right now is who's sitting right between us.
And who might that be?
Thank you.
Farrell Hough.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
You did.
I got it right.
You did. We talked rough, tough enough, Huff. You got it.
Is your uncle Charlie?
No.
No.
Are
Charlie
you
Huff.
related to Derek or Julianne?
People have asked me that question. I am not.
Why don't you
I
just
am
claim
not.
it?
Sadly,
Just
I
claim
should.
it. I
I'm
used to claim
yes,
Hank
they're my
Greenberg was a
cousins.
baseball player with my uncle.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah. Nope. I can't do it. I probably should.
Yeah.
I probably should. I
Just
don't know.
claim
Maybe
it.
I'll rethink that. Except for now,
I'll work
this
with
is
you on
going to
the-
get quite the viewership, so I'll have to come up with something else.
Well, while you're rethinking that, tell
Okay.
us what you do here.
What do I do at ServiceNow? All right. Well, I am working with the customer workflow products, and so I'm in the products organization, and I am helping to steer that part of the product team.
And in her spare time, she works with magicians too.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that anyway? That
Well,
box
it
thing?
was a little bit of fun. You know, it was after lunch. We're gonna have a keynote. I drew them all in. Then I had to give them something. And you know, we were using Illusion to talk through how we're able to show that something might appear very, very simple, and those are the experiences we want, but underneath it, there's a ton of complexity and work that goes into it.
Perfect.
And so, you know, we just wanted to demonstrate that in a really fun way. And
Yeah.
I've never been squinched down in a box quite like that, but it was a great surprise.
Did you have to do
Yeah.
like a lot of box scrunching in rehearsal?
Box scrunching.
I did that probably 3 times
Ah,
before,
wow.
three takes, and on the last one, I got hit in the head. So a
Ay,
little bit of you know on the job effort went
Yeah,
into that. But it
workman's
was fun.
comp.
The job has its
Yeah,
hazards.
yeah, that's right.
So,
Hey,
okay, so you ran ITSM first before you
Yes, I
came
did.
over to this side of the house.
yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah,
You
about
made
3 years
Right,
of
and you
running
made it into the big deal of the company. Now, you're heading up customer workflow, which is CSM, and
Yes,
all the
that's
products
right.
that are customer facing in
Yeah.
addition to everything else. And besides the fact that you're obviously capable of doing it, you're also kind of a signal to the world about, I would think, the importance of that to CSM and customer workflow to ServiceNow. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Because
Sure.
it's a pretty big move.
Sure. So, you know, I loved working on ITSM, and I did that for 3 years. And our customers asked us to go this direction. You know, they took us on this journey saying, listen, why aren't we extending the value we get on the ServiceNow platform, where we're connecting the IT organization, or you know, we're connecting the enterprise, all the departments, to be able to handle complexity and create a great employee experience. Why aren't we doing that for our customers as well? And so our customers brought us there. And I guess one thing, I'm great at scaling. And so that's exactly the part of the move, is moving me over there to help scale as we continue to see great demand from our existing customer base, and then you know, new use cases that we'll be able to help solve. I guess secondly, my roots are in customer service. For 10 years prior to joining ServiceNow, I was at a boutique consultancy where we worked with support organizations.
Can I ask you about that? for a
Yeah,
minute?
ask me.
You called it Outsight.
Outsites.
Yes.
I name was like, I thought that was just like this seriously cool name, and clearly the opposite of insight. So I'm trying.
Well, it's outside in insights.
Oh, even
Those
better.
together, yes.
You know what?
Whoa.
She always
Yes.
has these nice ways to tie things together, like rough, tough, enough.
I know. It's just
Outside
outside in
insights.
Yes, it was founded by Livia Wilson and Jean Bellinger. And I went and worked with them for about 10 years, and we worked with all kinds of companies in their support organizations or their R&D and operations teams, trying to solve problems or create, more connection within the teams. If they needed to, transform customer service, or if they needed to put a new product in market, how are we going to do that? We spent a ton of time working on people, processes, how they were going to monitor success, and then try to find the technology that could enable it.
You did things in the right order.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Technology last.
Yeah.
And when I came to ServiceNow, it was before we went public, and it was specifically to do the same thing.
How'd
to
they
tie.
recruit you?
Well, I worked with Outsights, the company I was with. We consulted to Data Domain.
Okay.
Our former executive
Right.
team ran the original executive team. And I worked specifically with Dan McGee, and he ran support and the engineering team, and brought us in to help him there. And then when he left, Data Domain was acquired, and when he left, he went over to ServiceNow and asked me to come. And ServiceNow was the first company I loved all my clients, but it was the one I wanted to stay with because I wanted to see the story finish. Yeah.
Wow.
One of the big themes seems to be carrying that customer experience through the employee experience back to the IT experience. How important is that today to nail those three things together?
Well, it's critical. It's the one thing that a company can do that will allow you to scale regardless of whatever change comes your way, whether you choose it or it happens to you. And as companies are going after digital transformation, or either their industries are requiring it or they're choosing it aggressively, having that connection and the digital workflow backbone across those entities is what's going to allow you to handle any change that comes your way and scale.
So, where were you born?
Where was I born?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is good. You guys are going to like this. All right, so I'm one of 10 children.
Wow.
Yes, I know. I'm the fourth oldest, because you'll have some question. Fourth oldest, 10 kids in 15 years, and a military family. My dad was an Army officer.
So you like Army brat?
Yeah, I'm
so
an
you
Army
moved,
brat.
10 of you moved?
Yes, every year or 2 years.
Oh my God.
Well, it started out with just 2 being moved, and then
That's right. It
Four.
just kept going. It kept going. That's
Right.
right. That's right.
Ultimately, they were the movers. They didn't
Yeah.
have to hire anyone.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
exactly.
you're number 4.
I'm number 4.
But in terms of height,
I am. I'm also the shortest.
You're
Sadly.
number 10 on the height side.
Yeah, number 10 on the
So
height side.
brothers, sisters.
5 and 5.
Oh my
wow, so
God.
it's
I
nice
know.
and even.
Perfect balance
Yeah.
of the sides.
Yeah.
So where were you actually born? The city
Fort
you were,
Bragg. Fort Bragg, North
You
Carolina.
were actually born on a base?
Yes. Yes, because you live on Army bases or military bases. A lot of times they provide your housing, right? So it's all supplemented, and so we lived on military housing all my life growing up, and born at Fort Bragg.
So
That
what, in terms of being one of 10 and moving all the time, how has that impacted what you do for your living? How
Sure.
does the lessons that you learned as a kid?
She's great at scaling.
Trust me, I can tell
She's
you.
great at scaling.
Growing up as one of 10 makes me a great fit for a platform company because you have to always consider the whole. You have to consider the whole unit. You cannot have just your needs be met. You have to. There's a time and a place for you as an individual to have your needs met or to be self-serving. But when you work on a platform, you have to constantly be able to think of the bigger picture. All your peers, all your partners, and how you're going to show up to your customers. And so it makes me. That's just ingrained in me. Then I would say also at Outsights, my mentors there were all about systems thinking.
Right.
And so I can't not think of the whole picture. What are all the dynamics? How are they working together? And so, that's been 2 big, huge influences on me that make me a great fit for a platform company like
there it is.
ServiceNow.
All right, so when I was little, I wanted to be
Mickey
Mantle, basically. I wanted to be a New York Yankee.
Have you heard this story?
Maybe.
Yeah. Every minute for 10 years. Of course, still a Major League Yankees fan. That's the only thing I am Major League at.
Okay.
And then I wanted to be a sports reporter. Then I went to Northwestern, and I was a radical, so I decided all journalists were imperialist tools, so I wouldn't be a journalist.
Okay.
So I wasn't a journalist. And then I was in politics for 22 years. But note, I haven't said a single thing about the world we're living in yet, right? The one we're in. If somebody had asked me when I was in college, you're going to be some CRM guru or something, like, I couldn't have said yes because CRM didn't even exist.
Yes.
Okay, so when you were little and when you were in college, what did you want to be?
Oh, this will be so good. You know, when I was younger, I actually can't remember, you know, as a young kid, what I was really aspiring to. A doctor at some point, I think. I really, really, really loved biology, for sure, and science I loved. But when I got into college, I started out in biomedical engineering. And I'm like, I don't know, it's just too finite for me. I'm not sure I really like this. And so I switched to English. I'm an English major.
Okay.
Me, English journalism.
No way.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Okay. So
And a hugger. And a hugger.
And a hugger. How is
We
this
are
happening right now?
doppelgangers.
No.
Yes. Right. We'll do this. How's
You got
that?
it.
And then we'll
Fist
do that.
bump, and then
we'll
out
hug
loud.
after.
Yes.
You guys are really in
But-
sync here.
I know. Sorry.
I feel left
we'll
out.
bring you
That's
in.
okay.
No, and I was going to be a teacher. And then
Now, did you want to be a college professor, or did you want to be a high school teacher or an elementary school? What kind of teacher?
high school and then eventually college. And but I got sucked in. My first job out of college was working in a marketing department in a small university, and my brother-in-law was like, "You need to come over here." He worked at Booz Allen. He was like, "You need to come over here.
That's how you got
You
there.
have such a great analytical mind. We need to apply that." And so he brought me over, and I got to my first client, and they were like, "Okay, here's the gig. You've got to go around to all these different departments. We have green screen mainframe systems. We're going to build a web front end. Go and get all their requirements, and you tell us what it needs to look like." And so I did that, and then I would work with this developer from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning to build that out. And so then I just got hooked on what technology can do, and talking with people and hearing their pain and how we can solve that.
Wow.
You had a pretty obvious connection during your keynote yesterday to one of your customers. She came out and you guys had a big hug. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
I would love to. And I get really excited about it and sometimes a little emotional, so we're going to go there. I really, really, so Aaron Doney came out on stage and talked with us about Optum, and I didn't, coming new to this product, I didn't know what necessarily what problem they had solved. And when I met with her and she talked to me about her child who had been diagnosed at a young age with autism, and then just all the challenges that she had to go through and navigate from insurance, and that shell shock that she felt, I personally really related. I have a 15-year-old daughter that I adopted, and she, for many years, has had some very, very strong developmental trauma that has created a lot of mental health challenges, and she's unable to live at home and may always need to live in a group setting. And for years, we have gone through trying to get resources and help and figure out what that looks like. And so what she created, what Optum created on our platform, just completely struck a chord with me about how we can solve for customer pain and create these great experiences. And so she and we have some joint things we want to try to do on the side to just continue to further this work, because we feel obviously both personally connected, and there's such a gap out there for parents and families who have these big life changes that happen and need resources.
And it allows you to impact lives.
Yes.
It really does.
And to get to do that, to show up at work and to know that you're so connected to it, and then it really can personalize, you know, the work you do and make it so meaningful.
Well, it actually goes from personalized to personal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It goes to personal.
Yeah.
Because to Brent's point too, the connection between you and Aaron was really obvious to everybody in that audience.
And I think it also helped tell the story of
Yes, it did.
the potential of what you guys are doing, can do with your customers.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, especially with technology, we can get a little bit sterile, or we can geek out, you know, on all the technology, and we can forget like the real impact we can have on human lives, and that is just, you know, what I want to do. I want to create change for people at work, at home, I don't care where. I want to create that change and help support them. And whatever ways need be, and it's great when you get to have that moment and it shows up and you're like, yes, this is what I do.
Yeah.
That's great, but popping out of the box is kind of fun too.
Yes, it was.
So if you had to choose, you know, working with a magician or, you know, doing what you're doing now, is it a hard decision to stay at ServiceNow, or are you still like doing a little bit of magic?
Okay, listen, I'm gonna make magic at ServiceNow. That's
there
what
it
I
is.
do.
There it is.
I can see you worked in the marketing department.
No, I was like a lowly associate, but no, I mean, I really had fun with that, but no,
So
I'm happy with my
Okay,
gig.
so
We got to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
This
you
will be
gotta
the
give her-
last
give her a
question.
good
Okay,
question.
So
yeah.
what would give you a run for the money about working with ServiceNow? What would be the thing that would give you a run for the money about working with ServiceNow? What would
Meaning like something challenging that would...
Something you'd want to do that would make you actually think about doing this. What would it be?
It's doing what I'm doing right now. I love getting thrown into the deep end of a pool and like figuring it out. And
So you want to be an Olympic swimmer?
yeah, watch it. You know, when you can't figure out which way is up, watch which way the bubbles go. You know, I'm a good swimmer. I love like
Yeah, I
just
heard you're a
getting
hell of
in
a
there.
runner too.
I'm not like fast or anything. I like to do it though. But no, I really enjoy just jumping into something that maybe I'm not well known for, or that I have a lot of learning to do, and that just propels me, it just keeps me going. And so, you know, I would say that the ITSM role, same thing, right? And so you just get in there and you figure it out, heads down, and lift up.
You know what's so great about that? That's a challenge you succeeded at and put aside now and move on to this one.
That's right.
You already
That's
did
right.
it. You already rock starred that.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
and on that note, thanks for joining us. This has been fun.
Yes, it has.
Yes, it has.
It's been
It's been
magical.
really fun. Magical.
Magical.
I am not doing any disappearing acts
No.
for you today.
It hasn't
Thank
been
you.
tough at all. You know, it hasn't been
No.
rough at all.
No, but it is enough. Is that what you're saying?
Enough is enough. No, but thanks again for joining us. And we're still going to be here talking to some other folks from ServiceNow as we. First of all, I love the environment
Thank you,
set up
Scott
here.
Shanker.
Yes.
Scott
cool.
is amazing.
Yes, he is.
I love Scott.
Well, I'll tell you
Team
off
is incredible.
camera about him.
Okay,
Good story.
good.
Is he a good hugger?
Yes.
All right.
He loves watches.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you need to talk to him about
Okay.
watches. now.
Watches. Maybe while you're hugging, you can look at his watch.
I'll
as
take
he's-
it off his wrist.
Oh yeah.
And on that note, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg,
We are the CRM Players
and we are out.
for now.